Hey, welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's your boy Marvin. We are going to get straight into a video. Should you ever forgive someone for cheating? Sadia Khan on Gentleman's Archive. Let's get straight into the video.
Can you or should anyone ever forgive a partner who has cheated?
I think when you have children, yes, when you have children, you can do it. The reason being is children benefit from seeing mum and dad go through troubles, going through it, staying together. But forgiveness and staying are not the same thing. Staying with your partner and then punishing them and being horrible to them and controlling them and being abusive is not forgiving. Forgiving is we're going to start fresh. What made you want to cheat? Let's try and fix that. But what I notice, especially when men forgive women, it's not always good because they start to lose respect for themselves. They start to think, I'm such a fucking idiot. How can I forgive her? They get angry at themselves and
Do they end up wanting revenge?
they want revenge and they get abusive, either physically or mentally. Where are you going? What time are you going? Oh, this, that, and the other, calling her names, calling her this, that, and the other. Women do it too when they've been cheated on, but women tend to just withdraw their love. They no longer love you. They no longer want to sleep with you. Whereas for men, when they forgive you, they hate themselves for not being strong enough to leave you. So they end up being verbally and physically abusive because they're less.
I think it's Sadia. She's made some great points there. I think that it's based on strong mentality and what your truly beliefs are. I think you can be so in love with somebody and you don't think straight. With us men, I think that sometimes we act on instinct, and that can be sometimes explosive anger, shouting, because we're used to having things in order, and when things are not in order, we tend to not cope with that. And sometimes you need to just think, wait, I'm gonna calm down and give myself some time to actually think about it. And yeah, women, if they don't feel loved, they can become unattached emotionally because they're emotionally triggered by things. They work on emotions. We work on sometimes tactfulness and logicless. Being logic as well. I think that's important.
Happy person. So I say if there's no kids, don't do it.
Yeah, I generally would probably not forgive.
Have you ever forgiven by it? Like, have you ever been softer and thought, let me try and forgive?
No, I mean, fortunately, I think I've been. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I feel like I've been in a position where I haven't really been cheated on.
Yeah.
But there's in my earlier days, in my early 20s, I think for sure it happened. Now that I look back at everything,
Yeah.
and I
But
think
you've never been in a situation where it's been outright someone's cheated.
no, but
Yeah,
the
me
other
neither.
person had started speaking to someone.
Okay.
So in a way, I just thought, well, it's over.
Right.
And I think if someone has cheated, it's never going to be the same again.
Yeah. It's
It
damaging.
really isn't. Like, even though you try to tell yourself as much as possible.
I truly believe that. I've experienced where one of my first girls, I was very young at the time, but like I said, I fell out with the girl I was actually seeing at the time, and she went with a friend of mine, and I think things were never the same after that. At the end of the day, I mean, sometimes things cut you deeply because I was very, very young at the time, maybe 17, 18, and I'd never gone through that pain, should I say, before. It just cuts you because sometimes I was brought up that, sort of everything's perfect in the world, but as you grow older and you get into your 20s, you realise it's not. But like I said, I think sometimes you have to go through it to make you a strong person. This is my point. And I suppose when kids are involved, I just think that once you've cheated, it's done. I can't see any respect. Yes, I would still see my children if I had young children. At the end of the day, my daughter's grown up now. But it's difficult. That's a difficult one with children. I think it's down to the individual person. Personally, I would have to leave, because I think once a cheat, always a cheat at the end of the day. And you got to ask why it actually triggered that woman or man to actually do that.
Like, oh yeah, we can make it work again. You're always going to think about it, and the trust is gone. And what I've noticed in a relationship, when the trust is gone, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you start to be mad at yourself for not being strong enough to leave them. And when you're mad at yourself, you're a difficult partner. You're angry, you're aggressive, you're hostile. You don't want to reward them. You're like, oh, why should I cook for them? Why should I give her why should I give her a birthday present? You start to withhold the good things, but really unleash all the bad things. So I think it's always a bad thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out well.
What advice would you give to somebody who's in a relationship or dating someone who has experienced severe emotional trauma, usually maybe in their childhood?
Oh, okay.
So how do you deal with that?
The thing is, when you've been traumatized in your childhood, you can't help but look for trauma in adulthood. So you'll look for somebody who will reincarnate that trauma. Somebody, say, for example, parent is abusive, you look for an abusive partner. Parent is absent, you look for an absent partner. You owe yourself the right to feel loved in the correct way. So select wisely. Selection.
Yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, some people who've been through traumatic experiences tend to go to those people as a coping mechanism, the people that's been through hell, like them. So I completely sort of agree with that, but I do think when you get older, your mind works differently. I think you know what's good for you, I think you know what's bad for you, and I think you're willing to sort of go for something completely different at the end of the day. It's all about what you want.
Is everything. Try not to, because what happens is when you've been traumatized, somebody who feels familiar, even though it's chaotic and horrible, you'll be drawn to them because it feels familiar, and you label that as chemistry. And somebody who's nice, consistent, and caring, you see as boring, and you're like, oh, I don't want that. You owe yourself to look for peace, not pleasure, because in the long run, that peace will give you that comfort you always craved as a child, but that chaos will rehash all the traumas, and you are left feeling so low. So you owe yourself that experience of love if you didn't get it as a child. Try and think about it like that. That child that in you that's been hurt and traumatized needs love. Go to somebody who gives it, not somebody who reminds that child that they're unworthy, because that's what people tend to do. They reincarnate all the horrible things.
Very true. Absolutely very true. At the end of the day, I truly...
Here's the big secret about women. We want you.
I truly respect that, to be honest with you. What Sadia said, I think that she speaks eloquently. She hits the points too. And I think those people who've been through trauma just deeply think what you truly want, because as though someone has been through hell and back the same as you, it doesn't mean it's always a chemistry. I always believe that. Go with someone who's peaceful, who wants that kind of peaceful life. I think that's very important. Anyway, let me know what you think of the video, and don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment. And would you go back to someone who had cheated on you? What are your thoughts about it and experiences, if anyone wants to come forward and tell me? Yes, look after yourselves wherever you are in the world. And thank you.